Hello, and welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of Big Brother 23 week. Is this week 3?
Week 3.
Okay, week 3. It's the nomination wild card show. I'm over the wild card, but with me as always, Tyler. And our special guest tonight is Sequester alumni Chris Wallace. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good. The show has definitely been interesting.
Oh, I don't think we can hear you.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
It's very quiet.
It's
do you have
very
like AirPods or anything?
Do you hear earbuds?
You're muted now.
You're muted now.
Like unmuting and muting back.
Okay.
I think. Say something again, Chris.
Hello.
I think if you're on your phone, I think you have your microphone covered.
Oh, well now.
Oh, that's
Oh,
better.
there you go. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
it was.
Okay,
You
we
had
can
your
hear it.
phone down, covering
I
your
see.
microphone.
Thank God Andrew's here.
Right. I was like, what do we do?
That's very
I don't
rarely said,
know.
Allison. So can we repeat that again?
What did I say?
Yeah.
Listen. Okay, y'all. Can I just be honest? I'm tired. It's Sunday. I'm over the wild card. Can we just all agree?
I'm not.
I am because
So-
it's filler at this point.
No, so me and Tyler said something this week. The minute we found out that Tiffany had won the wild card,
Wait a
he
minute.
said-
Are you guys in the super secret chat without me again?
no, it's the chat that
Yes.
you were in.
Talk about things without
I
me.
said she didn't take it, and it was another wasted competition, another wasted twist, and he was like, I was okay with her decision. Seeing what it was tonight, and that there was actual strategy behind turning that down, I don't hate that it wasn't used because it made sense not to use it, but it could have been used in a strategic way too. So I don't hate tonight's wild card twist. I thought it actually added an element of strategy in that.
But
Whatever
that's the thing, like there's never any incentive to say yes to these stupid twists at the choice at the end of whoever wins this wild card competition. And I'm glad that production is that dim-witted that they can't think of stuff that they would do because we just have such a great dynamic in the house already. And I would rather them say no to everything and just let the game play out naturally, fluidly the way it's supposed to.
But if Brittany would have won, she would have accepted it.
True.
Oh,
That is true.
Yeah. And she would have used it too. She would have used it probably for everyone to gain trust with the whole house.
100%.
And it was another reason for me to hear Brent say, I'm so excited because I'm safe and I don't need this. This would have just ruined the plan. And I'm so excited because I'm safe. So it gave me another opportunity for me to hear him say that before his ultimate demise.
Chris, who are you high on this season? Who is your winner pick? Or
Honestly, it keeps switching because I remember me and my friends were watching the first episode. We're like, oh my god, Team Jokers. We were really can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanna make sure. We were all the way Team Jokers, but then Frenchie completely screwed his HOH over, and I was telling this to everyone. It's the first week this season is usually different than every other season because the first week usually ends up being 13 to 14 days. This season it was 7 to 8 days, I think.
Yeah.
Division. So Frenchie really got screwed over. This is not your typical first HOH.
Yeah.
And I like this season a lot. This season kind of reminds me a little bit of it has that BB18 twist to it. But the good thing about this compared to the BB18 twist is that there's no alumni. There's no four, vets coming back to the house and 2 people are siblings to the vets. So I really like that element to it. And I have a lot of favorites. I really like Hannah and Claire the most probably.
Yeah.
I think your mic is covered again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 I heard you, but a lot of people are we can't really.
It'll help if you turn your phone because then your mic will be to the side. That's perfect.
There we go. Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, so Hannah and Claire are great.
Okay. Take
Can you hear
2.
me?
Okay.
All right,
Yes.
Hannah and Claire are great. I was saying before that the twist is basically the same as the BB18 twist. So the only difference is that this season has no vets, which really great makes the element so much better than every other season. So yeah, I would say
I like the team twist, although I don't like the big alliance in the house because I never like 9-10 people alliances, but it is what it is, I guess. We'll wait until like after, pre-jury.
Whatever happened to the slop competitions? Is that just not a thing anymore? I mean, that was what was running through my mind.
Twist competitions. The twist competitions replaced that because that was your Sunday night comp, was your have-not comp.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. We don't need a comp. Like there's so much like good gameplay going on that like is like literally is not being covered on the show. Like the fact that like we heard about the Royal Flush for like the first time tonight when this has been going on for like a week. It just like boggles my mind. Like I feel like we're like a whole week behind like what the strategy is in the game. Like I remember on this show on Thursday I was telling you about the Brent and Hannah conversation when he was like, yeah, like we'd be attracted to each other, it's inevitable, and they showed it tonight where like last week they were showing Brent and Hannah as this like weird like flirt man's thing that like wasn't even like happening. So I'm glad at least we got like a whole montage of like all the women in the diary room being like, Brent is a pig, he's disgusting, and we need to get him out. I can't live with him anymore.
I've said this every time I've been on the show this season, Allison. If you're not last season, not so much. If you are not watching the live feeds this season, you are missing this season. I was not watching them last week because I was on vacation and I had to watch a lot of flash forwards because this game is playing. These feeds are 24/7 gameplay. I mean, not just 24/7 bullcrap like we've seen in the past. It is game. And this is shaping up to be one of the best seasons in the past, I would say, 7 years. So if you are not watching the live feeds, you are missing this season.
Totally agree. So of course, like, so Chris mentioned like the big power alliance in the game, which is the Royal Flush. So it's the Kings and Queens together, with Derek X as like a little ace in their pocket. Pun very much so intended there. But I feel like, people can argue like, would this big alliance have come together if like there wasn't the team's twist, and that's kind of like people's like biggest complaint about the team twist so far this summer is that it's kind of created two teams working together, which I predicted preseason. I did, but I feel like we in the evolution of like Big Brother strategy, right? We don't even need teams for like this like big alliance at the beginning of the game to be the norm. And I feel like it started at like Big Brother 16 with like the bomb squad, and like every single season following, it's just like a big alliance of 8. We just coincidentally, this team's twist have just kind of like pushed people together a little bit more. And I do feel like this Royal Flush group is going to be the majority alliance that we see in the jury and inevitably like winning this game.
What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I was just about to add, I just watched the live feeds like probably an hour and a half or 2 hours before the episode started, and I immediately heard like a conversation with Hannah and Whitney, basically saying that they're going to target Alyssa and Sarah Beth. So yeah, a majority alliance is doing really good because even if they're not in power, the other people are going to just target the other team. So yeah, I definitely think it's sort of got that bomb squad. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has that bomb squad like feeling to it, but I think everyone just came here to play this season. I really like the cast. There's no like, I don't really think anyone's floating around a bit. Maybe Derek F, kind of, but like, I don't know. I still think he's kind of funny, and he throws rogue votes, which I really appreciate. So as of right now, I like the season. I think it's going to get more interesting after this team twist is done, though.
Totally.
When do you think that's going to happen? What do you think they're going to drop
after the 4th week?
After the 4th week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it was in BB18 after the 4th week.
I'm ready for a bloodbath free-for-all. I think we're going to see a lot of changes as soon as that happens, and I am living for it.
I don't know if we're going to see too much change, Allison. I like with like how the alliance structure is shaking out, right? So like once they dissolve like the twist, I feel like the Kings and Queens are still going to be working together with Derek X kind of helping like win comps and like shuffle things along. Chris brings up like the interesting point that like Hannah is really starting to target Alyssa, because she like the Kings is definitely like the strongest like quote unquote team out of like the four teams that we have here, and she wants to target Alyssa, and it kind of puts Derek X in like an awkward position because like he's really close with Hannah, and so I personally am rooting for a Hannah HOH next week, because then that'll kind of put the Queens in like a really awkward position. Like, do we try to keep the Kings, or do we like go with like what the HOH wants? Like it kind of like shows their hand a little bit. The Queens are in like a really nice sweet spot in the middle with like Tiffany and Claire and Kyland. Like it's no doubt like they are playing the best game. They have put themselves in this position, and it would kind of like force their hand a little bit if Hannah were to win HOH, put up Alyssa and try to target her.
I hate to say this, but
no, you don't.
I agree with Tyler. I do hate to say that. I don't think you're going to see a big change when the team shake up. I agree with what you're saying about Hannah. I'm going to say it right now, though. The player of the episode was Derek X. 100%. And I'm going to go on to say, whether you're a live feeder or not, I'm not going to spoil how, but Derek X is your player of the week. So far, his strategy it was really cool to see them cut back to him and Hannah kind of celebrating when that HOH they threw it, right? Yeah, that was cute. How he played the wild card comp, everything in that regards. This episode, and I think this week is the week of Derek X. Chris, something you said earlier is so true to me. I have a new favorite almost every day. That's good though. Claire was my early favorite. I started liking Sarah Beth a lot, and I still like Sarah Beth a lot. Right now, Tiffany, I'm living for Tiffany. It's a great season, and again, my favorite. But I do agree. I don't think you're going to see a huge shakeup. The only shakeup I can see you start to see here is I don't think Azah is going to let Xavier live this down. I think there might be a little shakeup in the cookout coming.
I am so disappointed in Azah tonight. That is one thing I missed on the feeds was like this conversation with Xavier where she's like, Brittany can't go up again. Like, throw me up there. Like, Brittany is the recruit. Azah is like the super fan. And like so many of us were high on her like preseason coming into like once we saw like the cast and everything. I am so disappointed. And then like after the noms happened, she doubles down in another diary room. She says, if you need a pawn, it should have been me. Like, what are you thinking? Like, it's so disappointing. And I feel like Derek F is like, he just like sits in that room like by himself all day, right? I feel like Azah is like isolating herself like just as much. And her like social capital in this game is just going like way, way, way down where like I feel like she could be targeted soon, and we can point to shit like this for why.
No, Azah's not gonna get targeted. She's got the Cookout Alliance. She's part of the Jokers. No one's even saying her name at all.
If I'm X and she pulls what she does, I'm looking at Azah. Yeah, you're an ally that's wanting me to put you up. Like, how strong is that? I hate to say this, but I agree with Tyler.
Yeah.
Hold on, where's my calendar?
Derek X won't win HOH. He just won 2 vetoes, so he'll probably, if he was smart, Derek X will just start throwing until like after jury.
Yeah, and we saw it tonight, right?
When I saw on BB Jokers that he won the second veto, I was like, oh, for God's sakes, are you kidding me right now?
Well, hold on. Let's make sure we don't say live feed spoilers until we put up that live feed spoiler.
No, that was the second week.
Yeah.
Well, here's, and I'm going to say something unpopular. Okay. But I believe it's true. And y'all can argue with me all day long. I'm using Derek F is going to unleash the Kraken as soon as these teams are done. I'm telling you, he is like a cat. And it's a joke. Everybody's like, yeah, he's like a cat.
He doesn't want to.
No, he's going to. Listen, a cat is a hunter, and they wait and they pray and they pounce. Okay, they don't meow to hear themselves hiss.
Allison, I hope you're right, but I do not believe you're right.
Allison, I have as much faith in that opinion as I have faith in your draft.
Listen, my draft is done. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, we
You're
don't have
not
to
done. Claire is still in
Oh,
there.
I'm done.
Oh my god.
It's like, look,
He's
and what do
already
you?
grayed out,
That's
Brent.
great.
He's already grayed
He's
out.
not gray yet.
He deserves
Color
it.
back in that.
I like how you guys put Brent black and white like already in there.
I know.
He deserves it
going
at this point, honestly.
You know what my nephew said this week? I've got my little 13-year-old nephew on live feeds now. He's so funny. He's like, I don't know how Brent's headband can hold in all his ego in his
Well, obviously, it's like busting out. This man is like incapable of buttoning his shirt for whatever reason. It's like the most.
Does he own a shirt?
So, I have a question for Tyler.
Sure.
I want to look at past seasons. I want to look at the norm. And this season was launched as a new beginning for Big Brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was launched as a reset for Big Brother. What Frenchie said, believe it or not, the eviction pattern this season so far is completely opposite from past seasons.
Yeah.
You're seeing these macho meatheads start to go first. You're seeing these white normal people start to go first. Do you think that this is
white people are never normal on this show?
Do you think this is truly a reset and this is a movement forward to maybe start a new status quo, or is this just a one-off hopeful situation?
I mean, we're only in week 3, and we've broken a Big Brother record where this is the first season where 2 black men have won an HOH in a single season. That is how quickly we are breaking these records in terms of like how things are changing and everything like that. What
you got, Chris?
Well, I was gonna ask, has there ever been more than one black person in a season?
Oh, well, last year we had like Bailey and Davon and Kevin, but
like 2 black guys in one season. Am I allowed to say that?
No, you can't. It's not normal, and that is something that's been a problem with Big Brother. Is there has not been a lot of diversity.
They've also changed casting too. So Robin Cast doesn't do casting anymore. So
thank God.
Thank God. Right?
But the question I pose here is this change in gameplay a direct effect of casting, and is this going to be the new precedent moving forward, or is this just a one-off? I mean, that's kind of the opinions that I'm trying to get on this is what is the cause for this new norm being set, and will this be a new norm moving forward? Is it a new change in everything where the meatheads will always be targeted first? Is it more of an even playing ground? Like what does so far what we've seen in this summer from the casting in the first 2.5 weeks say about the future of Big Brother moving forward?
So I almost want to say like it's too small of a sample size in terms of like this is the first season we're like experiencing this. However, like we do have Big Brother Canada 9, which had that same like diversity like rule and effect. And we saw like the gameplay was so fluid. We saw that like the even like down to like the finals, like it was like so diverse in terms of like who was there. I think that we are headed in that direction. The thing is like, especially with Robin Cast and casting for Big Brother in seasons past, is they have stuck to this like cookie cutter archetype for each person, right? And that kind of like dissolves when we have like people of color with like all backgrounds of life, you know, like Kyland is like half black, half Mexican. We've like never had somebody like that before. Hannah's like the first South Asian woman, I think, on Big Brother. I mean, like we never get like an Asian man with Derek X. Derek F is like a bigger gay guy, which like they always cast some like skinny white twink for the gay role in Big Brother.
What? What's a twink?
I'll let you Google that on your own. I mean, even down to Sarah Beth, I feel like is like an upgraded archetype of like Nicole Anthony. If that makes any sense. Do you disagree, Chris?
I was gonna say Meg Malley. She kind of reminded me of Meg Malley. Like I thought she was gonna get that little floater vibe. Like I'm just here to have fun.
But yeah, Meg Malley has way more edge than Sarah Beth does.
Yeah,
that's true. But I'll say like. I don't know, like to me like the diversity is just like so much more there, not just like skin color but like backgrounds, walks of life, and it's just as important what we don't have in the Big Brother house this year. So we don't have these like loser like influencers who don't know the game at all. We're found from Instagram. Like we don't have like an Annalise in this season. You know what I mean?
That I can't.
Ooh.
Who's just
She's
up
got
for
a little
giving?
hot
Where's
here,
the
Tyler.
lie?
No,
Where's the lie?
because
I can't see it.
She put more gameplay into giving Jack blowjobs in the
Exactly.
HOH bathroom. I'm just telling it like it is.
Yes, exactly. Thank you,
There was
Alice.
a lot of effort put into
I'm
that. I
not
just happened to be
disagreeing
on
with
the
the damn
feeds to
thing you're
see
saying.
it. Okay, I wasn't looking for it.
I'm not disagreeing with the thing you're saying. I agree, Tyler. I think this is a new precedent. I think this is a new game, and if this is the true, I think we just saved Big Brother. I think Big Brother will be around for a lot longer. I will also say that if you are not a fan of the Kyland Sarah Beth duo, get the hell out of this chat. Get the hell out of this video.
We won't tolerate any slander here.
No, I am standing that duo so hard. I wasn't here Thursday, but that moment of them two in the HOH bed, it was just so raw, so real. I'm still saying that my dark horse in this game is Sarah Beth. I think she's playing an incredible game, and we gave her so little credit preseason.
We did.
You compared
She
her
was
to
the
Beth.
last pick. She was the
Didn't you
last pick on the draft.
Yeah.
And we
Didn't you
said
compare her
first
to Beth,
week, maybe
though?
second. And the way she is positioning and playing this game, I feel that she's the realist in the house, and she's the one lying about her occupation. But Sarah Beth and Kyland, I'm all for that. I agree, Tyler. I think that if this is the future, then we're doing great.
No, I haven't said hi. Hi,
I'm sorry.
Sam.
I'm just like chatting up a storm here.
I got to say hi to people in the chat. I'm sorry. Hi, Sam Higdon. He's now a senior in high school. Heather Rogers, Joseph Boza, Dolores L., May Jones, Adrian Celeste, Hans Allison. Let me make sure that I scroll up. I don't want to miss anybody. Iron Wolf, Romero, as always. Where's my Pokemon? Alice in Acidland. Wow. That's fun. Let's see who else. Everybody. Caitlin Weaver, as always, you guys, and Krista Todd, B. Bean, everybody. Thank you so much for participating. We are paying attention. I promise.
Guys, just real quick in the chat, I just put somebody in timeout for 5 minutes because we're not going to make like weight jokes about anybody in the house. That's all I'll say. We don't need to comment on anybody's physical appearance and what they are or are not eating and what that equates to them as a person. So just throwing that out there. But well, Allison, I want to hear from you. Who are your favorites so far?
I'm so.
Can you highlight that B Bean comment as she's saying this?
The what?
What?
B Bean says, "Will I get blocked if I say that Tiff reminds me of Allison a little bit?"
No, you will not, and because I like.
That's a compliment.
Tiffany. That's a compliment. I like Tiffany. I like everybody. I really don't like. Well, I don't like Christian and Alyssa. I don't think they're really doing anything.
They're
But then
doing things.
Yeah,
they're doing things. I just don't care for those things. But I don't care for the two of them. I think they're going to float into jury and it's going to piss me off. Because every time I see them, I'm just like, whatever, I immediately go to another, I think Brent is full of himself when he's talking to the ladies and doing all this stuff. But I do think he is a good person. He's going to be a threat when the teams break up. He is a strong competitor, and I think that he.
I don't think he'll be here when the teams break up.
I know that, and I'm just saying I'm trying to manifest it because my draft is looking really discolored at this point, and I don't like it. But
Allison, I have a follow-up question.
Tyler is just reveling in it.
I love it.
Allison, I have a follow-up question for you. Can you count to 13?
Yes, I can count to 13, but I don't play card games. I told y'all this. I don't do that. I would have the worst time doing that. But yeah,
I have a follow-up question. Allison, are you valedictorian of your high school class?
Listen, no, I have a GED. I'm the valedictorian of my own school.
I do want to make a side comment on that. I don't like that they let
good enough diploma high school right here, valedictorian.
I don't like that I don't like that some wild card competitions are being viewed by everyone and others have not been. I don't think that's fair in the aspect of assessing competition and assessing different things. I feel like it should be like the past ones were, where if they're all going to be done in secret, they should all be done in secret and not have these that are cross competitioning.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing that that kind of goes back to what happened in the very first kickoff episode, Tyler, where we were talking about how the first group got to watch everything and the last group got to watch nothing. So I wasn't crazy about that part of the wild card competition, but overall the competition itself I liked, and it was a good again, I like the revamped competition so far this season.
They've been very equal in terms of like who can win these comps, which I appreciate. I think that's a huge fix from that's why we've gotten like a Cody win and a Mickey win in a row, right? And Tyler and Casey getting to final 2 in Big Brother 20, Paul getting to the end in Big Brother 19. We are just like littered in modern Big Brother with like these like physical competitions, like just like carrying people to the end, where they don't even have to like be strategic to end up like winning this game. Chris, what do you think about that? What do you think about the comp so far this season?
Well, I definitely agree with you that compared to this season from like the premiere of like last season, like it's been way more fair, to be honest. Like the competitions were extremely similar, especially with the puzzle one in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the picture, whatever that comp was called, like it was pretty much the same. And even though there was like people on the balcony that were watching them, like they probably were not allowed to like say anything to them. So I mean, I would say it's pretty fair to say that it was a lot more equal to the rest of the, people in the house. As far as the wild card competition, I don't know. I think it's either they all should be viewed or none of them should be viewed by the other contestants. I think that's how I really feel about it. But I also think that the reason why they probably viewed it this time, production-wise, was because I don't think they're allowed to like lie about how the competition was played out, but maybe they are. That might be a variable that production was just considering. Like, let's let the other people watch them, so that way, because obviously they knew that. Oh my God, what is her name? What's the
Brittany?
girl's name? Who?
Tiffany, Brittany.
Tiffany.
Brittany. Brittany, yeah, I forget her name. So, sorry, there's a lot of similar. Yeah,
Brittany is what we call her.
The house, like production knew, production knew that Brittany was a target, so it was just probably just an extra step of like, oh, like let's let them watch Brittany like suffer, so that way, because Azah saw it too. Azah saw Brittany suffers. That's probably why she reacted the way that she did. So
I felt so.
I agree. Yes, they shouldn't be watched, but also I understand why they did it.
Someone brought up in the chat that Brittany's autism is not the problem. She doesn't bring it up. She's not into that victimhood or anything. And then someone brought maybe when she's highly stressed she can't focus correctly, which is actually pretty understandable. So I mean, it's just, to me, and this is just, I've never been cast on Big Brothers, so they don't love me, but I don't think they should be able to watch the competitions, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, the HOH and stuff, but I don't think they should be watching this wild card.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so I agree with Heather's comment that Brittany's autism is not the problem here. It is her victimhood, to be frank. I mean, like she said in the diary room tonight, like there's people coasting in this house and I'm fighting for my life in this game every day. Like you're fighting for your life every day in this game because you like totally slipped and fumbled like personal relationships, getting to know people the first week when like everything is like forming and the alliance is breaking down and stuff like that. Does it help that she was on Frenchie's team? No. I feel like the whole like Joker's team is has like the Frenchie curse, like even like way after he's gone. But she's not doing herself any favors.
Is Brittany the new Victoria?
No, not.
I can see it.
No,
I
can see it. Not a Victoria.
No, because
she's going to be the ultimate pawn this season.
I don't think.
I think so.
I don't think so.
Victoria didn't try, and Brittany is trying.
Yeah, like Brittany is actually,
okay. That's fair.
Do all this stuff. Like Victoria was like, I'm just here just to have fun. That's what like, Brittany is competitive. Victoria's
But I'll give you that she's competitive, but she's her own worst enemy in the same way that I think Victoria was, right? If she's going to continue to play this victim card and continue to play this, she's never going to get anywhere, even in the competition. She's getting in her own head. She can say, and somebody said it in the chat earlier, she can say all she wanted. They teamed up on me. They teamed up on me. The reason she didn't win that competition is she couldn't count to 13. She could have taken Derek X out and gone head-to-head with Tiffany. So I can't say that it's that she's competitive. She got in her own head. She was not focused on the competition at all. And until she can pull that to the side and get focused and settled down, but nobody can say that she lost that comp because they teamed up on her, because she could have taken Derek X out and she couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, under that kind of pressure, I don't think I'd be able to count to 6.
Bria goes
Tiffany only had 2 cards on
1,
her flat,
2, 3, 5.
Yeah, that would be me under that kind of pressure.
That darn number 4.
Oh my gosh, the picture for Alice in Acidland is creepy.
So like it just comes down to like her taking things like way too personal in this game, instead of like zooming out, looking at like, okay, I can see why Xavier would want to put up somebody who's already been up, especially when the target is so clear in Brent. Joseph says it here, like she was on the block once already. She was almost on the block twice. And that is her issue in this game, is that she doesn't understand that, like, okay, that makes sense from Xavier's point of view.
I've said this from the beginning of me watching the game of Big Brother, or in season 1, or really season 2. If you're going to play this game, you cannot fear the block. Yeah. You have to be willing and ready to go on the block. You have to be okay with going on the block. Dr. Will Kirby did it best, right? Like, he was okay when he went up, and he used that. It's part of the game. Being nominated is part of the game. Not everybody's going to be a Derek, right? Like, going up is part of the game. It's not going up, it's how you handle it when you go up. And Brittany crashes and burns when she goes up. And that's the problem, that 1 is going to hurt her moving forward, but 2, that makes you the perpetual pawn, right? Mm-hmm. This is how she reacts when she goes up. This is what happens. She is her own worst enemy in this game right now.
Yeah. Chris, how do you feel that Xavier's HOH is going so far?
I still think Xavier should have threw it. Honestly, before he even won HOH, I thought that like he was already in a really good spot. But now that makes me think like, okay, well, Xavier, you know, put Brittany on the block. What if Brittany wins HOH? You know what she's gonna do? She's gonna put Xavier and Kyland on the block, and then one of them's gonna go home. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're positioning your house in a spot, you don't have, like, the way that Derek X and Hannah just threw that comp. Like, they were smart to do that because they knew that if they won HOH, that they would have to put 2 people on the block. One of them was going to be safe, and one of them was going to target them. Xavier just, like, I don't know if he just threw, like, maybe he threw it, but, like, he won it, if that makes sense. Or he actually tried, but I don't think this was a competition that Xavier should have won.
That makes me really curious. Like, that makes me curious, like, who would go if it was Xavier and Kyland on the block with, like, a Brittany HOH?
Xavier would go.
You think so?
That's it.
Right now, today, Xavier would go, especially after all of this, because he's going to lose Whitney.
Yeah.
Yeah, but would Brittany put them up, though? Do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think she is emotional enough to do that.
100%.
Okay.
If she's that emotional,
possibly.
She will put them both up.
I think that would be her initial thought, but I also think Brittany is very playable and manipulatable. So I think there could be a way, not for them to, but I think somebody like an Azah, a Derek F, somebody in her group could get in her ear and be like, hey, I see what you're saying, but that's not smart.
So then where would the target go then instead?
I would think that they would try to use it as like a building time and a building round. So trying to create a team around that to get the jokers out of the predicament that they're in. So it depends on how they build from there. But I could see a Christian Alyssa.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think a Claire and Sarah Beth would probably be somebody that they target.
Well, then I don't want them to win HOH. Let's move on.
Right.
Can we get into spoiler stuff? Do y'all want to get into spoilers?
Yeah, go ahead, Alice.
Okay, this is my spoiler. Okay, now we're going to talk because I don't have anything
What the
special.
hell was that?
Dude, I tried to do a dubstep or whatever the
But so,
hell.
since we have to give like 2 minutes for people to turn off, I'm going to tell mine and Allison's secret conversation from today because it's hilarious as hell.
You guys have a super secret chat. I see.
We sure do.
I let her use my Peacock so she could watch Dr. Death, and she messaged me today and was like, "Can I use your Peacock? Hey, do you mind if I watch Boss Baby on your Peacock? I don't want just to assume it's okay." And I said, "You can do whatever you want on my Peacock." Okay, wait, that sounded dirty. You can watch my Peacock whenever you want. Okay, I don't know how to make that sound appropriate. Yes, you can.
That's so funny.
And I said, I got you. Thanks. Listen, whatever. Boss Baby's awesome. Alec Baldwin's king. Let's put him in the Big Brother house.
Now we've given time. We've told a joke and we've done the Allison.
I'm gonna step out real quick just to change into a t-shirt. It's like very hot in here. I'll be right back. It has nothing to do with the Peacock conversation either. I'll be right back.
I'm sure it made you hot.
Yeah, it made you hot. So what I know from the spoilers is that Christian won the veto, did not use it, and Brent.
Well, the ceremony's tomorrow, so we don't know.
Meeting's tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, from what I understand, he's not going to use it because I don't like Christian and I don't have anything nice to say about him, so he's just not going to do it.
Now, I will say that Brittany did think he was going to use it when he won it.
She was like demanding, from what I understand, she was like demanding that he use it. And I'm like, girl, you going to demand yourself out the door? You keep that attitude up.
And I will say, I have not watched the live feeds as much this week. I was on vacation. I didn't come home until Friday. So I've caught up a little bit the last couple of days, but I have not watched as much this week as I have in the past, but I have kind of read commentaries and things of that nature. So I'm not as... Normally, Allison refers to me, "Hey, Andrew, what's the live feed update this week?" I'm not as up to it.
Yeah,
because I
have to ask my nephew now what the updates are. You've been demoted by a 13-year-old.
That's fine.
Just so you know. But
most days I get demoted by a 2-year-old. So
listen.
So that's an upgrade.
I don't know, but that's really all I know. But what's going on, Chris? Do you know anything about the live feeds right now?
Yeah, the last conversation that I saw was Hannah and Whitney talking about targeting Sarah Beth and Alyssa. And
okay.
I said this before. I was like, yeah, that's why the whole Royal Flush Alliance is probably, like Tyler said, probably is going to do really, really good because no one's going to target that alliance except for Brittany. That's the only person that would probably target that alliance.
I will say my live feed moment of the week is Xavier walking into his own HOH room with Christian and Alyssa making out. Like, how dumb can you be to make out in the HOH room and he just walk right in?
Especially because Xavier and Alyssa had a little bit of a flirtmance, like the first week or so of the house before she moved on to Christian. So, you know, they're lucky they're on the same team as Xavier and therefore safe.
I think Christian and Alyssa think that the show is like too hot to handle because I don't think they think that's Big Brother. I think they're on like too hot to handle, in my opinion.
Yeah. Too hot to handle. What's her name said that? What's her name? Alyssa made a comment on the live feeds about, you know, you and I to Christian. Christian and I are in a showmance because we like. The first week we communicated in the kitchen, and like other people in past seasons have had orgies. And I'm sitting here texting with my friend Anelda who watches the live feeds. I said, I want timestamps of these orgies over the past 20 years because I have never seen or heard of a Big Brother orgy.
Nothing gets worse than April and Ollie in Big Brother 10. I'll leave it at that.
Oh God.
Like Chris, that is like the main like story of like the latest on the live feeds is that like Hannah is like really like lining her shot up at Alyssa, Christian, Sarah Beth, basically like the King's team.
What is your baby's name?
This is my friend's cat.
What does your friend's cat think about Big Brother?
Okay.
That's exactly. He's got the right idea.
But I think like somebody in the so Adrian said Christian and Alyssa are coming for Hannah and Whitney. So like obviously like the word has gotten back to them. Yeah, exactly. So they're like lining shots at each other. So it really puts Derek X in a really awkward position, and I think he's the one to watch in terms of like seeing how he maneuvers that situation. Because of course he wants to stay in good with Hannah, but he's loyal to the royal flush as well. And if I were Derek X, like, you know, as much as like him and Hannah get along, like, you know, 8 versus 1, like I'm gonna go with the 8.
I so want that showmance to blossom. Like,
It's so cute.
So want that showmance to blossom.
Yeah, it is very cute. And also like Whitney is like trying to. The problem is like she is now like she sees that like Brent is like certainly going home this weekend. Like he's like very problematic. Like nobody's getting along with him. But it's like a little too late. She's trying to like integrate herself into the group, but like everybody is like with their people now. And so Whitney is just kind of like on the outs. The problem is like the majority side of the house is so united. Like the royal flush is like set in stone, has an alliance name. Like they have like a plan of action where like Azah, Brittany, Derek F, Whitney, and even Hannah to some extent are not like together, you know, like they're just kind of like floating along, and like maybe they'll have one conversation with the person, but they aren't like making like a counter alliance to this like big group. And Allison's yawning at my strategy talk.
But do you think that okay, so in this scenario, when things come down to it, do you think there would be any loyalty from like Xavier to the Cookout over this new royal flush?
I don't think so.
Wait, I think Xavier would be more loyal to the Cookout than the Aces Alliance. I
don't know, guys. That I don't know, but
but that's the dynamic we have moving forward too, is these two stronger alliances, because Xavier from the beginning has said that this is the season for a POC winner, and that's his only goal. He said, I hope it's me, but a POC winner is my goal, and for the first African American to win Big Brother. So will that stay true in this, and would the Cookout be more important to him than the royal flush?
I mean, if he has that goal in mind, like the problem is, so like Azah set a precedent for the Cookout that like we shouldn't ever be in the same room together strategizing, because we'll like be seen as like an alliance, and that could be scary to some people. But the problem is like there's just like no like proper communication in this alliance now. So it's just kind of like all like a game of like telephone. It's not as like clear and like rock solid as the royal flush. It's just kind of like a passing like the Cookout. Like to me it almost feels like a backup plan for these house guests to kind of like lean back on if they're ever in like a tight spot. They need to like pitch to like an HOH to get themselves out of trouble, or like to get a vote if they're on the block, something like that. But I don't think they're anything of like a power position in this game.
Let me ask a question, and this might be a little touchy subject, but it's something I was actually kind of thinking about today. I do want a person of color to win Big Brother. It hasn't happened. I think it would be a great thing to see. But I also want whoever wins Big Brother to have played the game and earn it. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to come down to two people and one played the game and one was just, and we're just going to give it to that person to make history. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful and rude or anything like that. I want a damn good player to win this year. And I feel like we have a great group of people, except for Liz and Christian. But other than that, and Whitney. But other than that, we have a great group. Okay.
I think that, you know, for me, I think that we finally got this casting inclusion, right? So we finally are here on this step up. So I think that the POC winner is inevitable in a season here coming up. Yes. At the end of the day, I don't care the color of the winner. I want the player that played the best game to be the winner. Now I feel that you've given the POC more opportunity for that inclusion and more opportunity when you were handicapping them before that, only giving them one or two options in a specific season. But I'm not going to specifically say I want a POC winner. I'm not opposed to a POC winner. I want the player that played the best game to win the game. End of story.
Yes. I think they said in the chat, Allison, are you referring to Derek F?
I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Listen, y'all are sleeping. on Derek. I promise.
He's the only one sleeping.
Well,
I'll say that much.
True.
But I get what you mean, Allison, and I feel like there's certainly a difference in.
This is Derek next to a picture of my cat Phoebe. I see no difference, but he's gonna wake up eventually. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
I'm telling you, don't hold your breath. But I see what you're saying, Allison, and I think that there are like very capable players who are people of color this season. Like, what happened?
That was the cat.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
we're used to cat sounds in the middle of.
My cats have fucked this show up so many times. They've knocked my Ethernet cable out. It's just nonstop over here.
So like no shade to like Davon last year, but a lot of her reads last season were really terrible. Kevin like totally just like played into the committee alliance like all season long, where like Kyland is playing a hell of a game, Xavier is playing a hell of a game. So I get what you mean in terms of like yes, we want this winner to be a person of color, and I think it will be this season. But I want it to be a deserved victory, kind of like Tayshaun in Big Brother Canada 9 this past season.
I guess okay. So like Heather's kind of bring like Claire. Like if Claire plays a kick-ass game, and Derek F get to drag to the end, napping like my cats, I would like Claire to win, not Derek, just for the other. That's the kind of point I'm trying to make, and I really regret even bringing it up.
But is Claire playing a good game right now?
Is what?
Claire. I mean, she's playing very UTR.
I think that her position is really good, but I think that's more of a testimony to Tiffany protecting her and setting her up well than what Claire's doing. However, Claire's a huge fan of this game, and like we have like seasons worth of proof that like people that play hard at the beginning of this game get Frenchie out of the season. So she could turn something up. I'm not closing the door on like Claire as a player quite yet.
I agree. I just haven't seen anything this season. I still am rooting for her. I like Claire, but I haven't seen anything that's making me go, oh wow, I'm standing Claire. But I still like Claire. I still want her to go far. Well,
what's the difference between Claire playing under the radar and Derek F playing under the radar?
Because Claire's still having conversations and going to rooms and making alliances and being in things. Derek F is just, he whines. He's a whiner.
Yeah.
And his information is always like 2 weeks behind. Like I feel like he's giving producers like. So Derek F is giving the producers like what is going to be on the TV show. Like that is what's going on in Derek F's mind. We're missing all this strategy.
Derek F is secretly the announce speaker.
Derek F needs to be replaced by the guy that says previously on Big Brother.
And he's just him laying there.
Derek F conversation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, Allison, but like Derek F is just like GOAT potential. I'm telling you, like turn on the feeds at any point. Him and Azah are sitting in the kayak room.
Well, I
talking to nobody.
I disagree with that. I did see Derek F talking to Xavier today.
Okay.
On the live
well,
feed.
how did that
really
conversation go? Okay.
They had a really good conversation. Derek F was talking about how Azah was like complaining to Tiffany and like they have to get together because of the Cookout alliance. That just happened today, though. I'm not saying like
Derek F was telling Xavier we really need to get Frenchie out this week.
He's creeping in. I'm telling you, man.
Derek F's like, Derek X just won his first power of veto. I'm so proud of him.
It's like that, but no, this is his second power of veto, Derek.
Travis has to go, dude. Like Travis
is gone for 2 weeks, Derek.
He's like, Christy is a huge threat in this game. Her profile, she's $100 on Cameo.
We had a whole conversation about this. And I have so Christy, who caught COVID and you was replaced by Claire. We had a whole conversation about this. She charges, it was 100, now 75 on Cameo. And it takes her 5 damn days to do your Cameo, which I was serious because you ain't doing nothing. But
Why are
anyway,
you paying for her to do a cameo?
I'm not paying for anything. I'm just saying.
Wasn't
I
even
feel
on
like
the
if
secret.
Frenchie's coming, would Frenchie
yeah.
be worth $100 for a cameo?
Okay, let's take a stab
No.
at like how expensive do you think Frenchie's cameo would be? What do you guys think?
$25. I'm gonna go for 25.
45?
25?
I think
Andrew,
he'll
what do you
start out 50 and it'll eventually be half off, like within a couple of days.
$5.
No.
$5?
Yes, I would not
Five?
pay more than $5 for a Frenchie cameo. And here's
Yeah.
here's my problem, because a Frenchie cameo would be him trying to make an alliance with my mother, my brother, my sister, my aunt, my damn dog. Like Frenchie's just gonna be like, "You want an alliance? You want an alliance?" And then it's gonna be like, "All right, you're gonna be in the cookout. You're gonna be in the slaughterhouse. You're gonna be a butcher. You're gonna be a baker. You're gonna be a candlestick maker." Like, right? Like, no, I have no desire
Candlestick maker.
for a Frenchie
What's that?
cameo.
I think he'll be $75.
Oh, what do I think he'll be? I think
Yeah.
he'll put himself about $250. What do I think he's worth? About
I will
$5.
flip
Yeah.
out if he thinks. And I don't even hate Frenchie.
Tyler's
I
like-
just
Tyler from BB20 is like 100.
Yeah.
Frenchie
Frenchie's
thinks
not like.
But Frenchie thinks
Yeah.
he was the God's. He said, "I am the one that's the catalyst for this new thing." Like Frenchie took a lot of credit to this, and in his head, I'm not saying I don't like Frenchie. Frenchie gave me great feeds. Frenchie gave me a great 2 weeks. Right?
yeah.
I am glad Frenchie was on this cast.
Yes.
100%.
But he gives him Frenchie's biggest fan is Frenchie.
Frenchie's interview with Julie consisted of I wanted to make a change on this show, and the change was making sure the old white guy didn't go first. Let's forget about everything else we're trying to change on this show, and it comes back to the old white guy.
I will say what drives me really insane about Frenchie, and he said this.
Wait,
I
said
like
this-
Jay Cloud's comment.
Wait, what?
Highlight Jay Cloud's comment. No, Jay Cloud.
well, shit.
He probably doesn't have an internet signal for a cameo because he lives in Awasum Holler, Tennessee.
That's true. I'll also say Julie was like way too nice on Frenchie in that interview.
Go ahead, Chris.
yeah.
I'm sorry. That
Yeah.
No, what really bothered me about Frenchie was like I don't think he watched the show as like much as he said that he has, because
He 100% has.
because really, I don't think he's been saying this on live feeds. I've never seen a strong white guy get out first on Big Brother, and I'm like, okay, BB17, BB15, BB, like there's others. Come on, he's not that much of a super fan. I think a lot of people that go in the house, they say they're a super fan, but like, come on, this is not the first time a big strong guy has got out first.
I can confirm he is a super fan. Did he get his facts mistaken? That's not fine, but he is a super fan of the show. I know that for sure.
But
Well, I
he
just-
severely effed up. He
100%.
didn't act like it while he was in there. He made all the classic cliche mistakes that you make as an old white man in the freaking, he lives 3 hours from me in Clarksville, Tennessee. Do you know that?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Do you get cell phone service? Can you do cameos?
I happen to
Allison,
know
you
for
should
a
send a
fact you do get internet out there. What's
Allison,
that, Chris?
You should set a cameo to Frenchie.
Should I?
No, he doesn't even. Yeah, I think you should do it.
Like, hey,
I don't know
Frenchie,
what-
it's Allison from My Weekly Meltdown. Thank you so much for being a huge fan and supporting us. Maybe someday you'll get cast in the Big Brother house as well, and you'll make such big change to the season.
Listen, I've already got an analogy for him. You know what, Frenchie? You did the best you could, but sometimes you're going to reach into a bowl full of titties and pull out a dick.
Well, okay, so let's just say this. Oscar the Frenchie is $29 on Cameo.
Okay.
Who the
He's
hell
got to
is
be the
Oscar
most expensive
Frenchie?
Frenchie.
Tyler, how much would you pay for a Derek X cameo?
Oh, I would pay
Oh.
200.
That's tough. 50?
Tyler's
50.
like stalker.
He looks good. He's
I
There's a restraining order in that
I
future.
would have paid 200 for a Derek X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameo.
Allison, how
Like,
much
it's
would you
Derek
pay
X,
for a
not
Derek F
So
cameo?
yeah, I would pay 200.
You pay 200, Chris? How much would I pay?
$200 for Derek X.
For a Derek F.
Derek F.
Oh no, like $20.
Oh, I'd pay 50.
I
Maybe.
find a coupon in the back of a Kmart clearance aisle section.
I would
pick it
get
up off the floor
on
redeem it.
Groupon. I'd get on Groupon and see if Cameo's
Derek
on
F.
there, and then I'd see if I could get
Derek
me
F.
some.
Cameo bio.
Get-
Contestant on Big Brother 22. I can give you all the facts.
Oh God.
Don't sleep on Groupon, just like you should sleep on Derek F.
Sam Higdon says Ashley from the challenge is doing a week of free cameos.
That's because she's like a millionaire. Like she doesn't need the money.
True.
She doesn't
But
need
really,
it.
what you don't know is they're all Hunter's cameos, and she just stole them.
It's true. Oh, burn.
Love
God,
that.
I love that. You know what? He shouldn't have been so nasty to her because he was really ringing that bell. Okay. And these, I'm going to tell you as a Southern woman, no, nay. Leave it alone when money's involved. You insult me after the check's cashed. Then you can say whatever you want.
So
I agree.
So we're digressing a little bit. I want to ask a question, and then I'll be pretty much through with questions, I guess. In the event Brent goes home, that's what we're expecting. That's what we're thinking, unless something drastically changes. Who do we want to see as the next HOH, and who do we want to see as the next person evicted?
I want a Brittany HOH.
Yeah.
I
That would be
need a
very
Brittany
messy.
HOH.
I want to burn the
It'd
HOH.
That would be good feeds.
Brittany HOH, Xavier, and Kyland on the block, and Xavier goes home.
If
I
but
would-
if
I
he
wouldn't hate that.
wins, but what if he wins?
How
Like,
interesting is that? What a
Well, we
flip,
all
right?
know that the fourth wild card is going to be the wild card that nobody can refuse, even though all of them have been refused. So that could change anything. That could change absolutely everything. I'm going to go with Allison here. I want a Derek F. HOH win.
Yeah.
well, I
Why?
want a Derek F or a
totally
Brittany.
kidding. Just because I
Mhm.
wanted to nominate Frenchie and Travis and Brent.
Yeah, Frenchie's gonna nominate.
No, I would truly love to see a Tiffany head of household.
That's also pretty good too.
I
feel
don't
like
think
it's
she'll
not a
win
good
it. I
time
don't
for
think she
her.
wants to win it. I don't think it's good for her to win it.
Yeah.
But I think it would be very, very fun to see a Tiffany.
Yeah, but she's gonna put up Whitney and Brittany, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
boring. It's just those nominations are gonna be boring.
Anyone that's not in the Cookout or the Royal Flush Alliance, I want to win HOH.
Yeah,
I like when it's not
that's,
majority.
that's the thing, Chris. Like, I definitely want Hannah to win because I want to see Tiffany, Claire, and Kyland have to kind of choose between, like, am I gonna like be loyal to Hannah and Derek X, or like am I like going down with the fight with the Kings and trying to keep them off the block. It's a really precarious position for them, and I'd love to see how they maneuver that. And I think like between like the strategy and the brains of Claire, Tiffany, and Kyland, I would just like love to see that play out and see what they decide.
I really
Yes,
feel like
it's a tough
Brittany
choice.
took my spot on Big Brother this year.
The
Like
good
not that
news
I
is-
was asked to be on it this year, but I kind of feel like every year I have to pick someone that took
You would
my
have been
spot.
Tiffany, Allison.
The-
Let's be
I
real.
would've been
You would have been
Tiffany?
Tiffany. Yeah.
You think?
I agree.
Would have blown it.
100%. 100%.
The
I
great
would've
part about
blown
the
it.
season is I don't care who gets HOH. I think it will be an exciting week no matter. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is
No,
just
I want a
wonderful.
Tiffany HOH, but I think it's going to be boring because
I
she's
don't
going
want
to
a
put.
I don't want a Tiffany HOH this early on. I think like
Yes.
maybe after jury, when it gets down to like the final 8 or 7, that's gonna be where shit will hit.
When
the
they
fan.
have to eat each other alive
Yeah.
and the pawns and the easy outs are gone. I want to see her have to put up someone she really cares about.
And she
Yeah.
will. And not
I
get
wanna
too
see.
flying up.
Yeah.
I also think that so like we have one more week of the teams after this. So I think the following week's HOH, not this upcoming Thursday, but the following HOH will be our first endurance of the season. Because that would be a good time. Like everybody's on their own now. There's no more teams, so everybody has to like hang on to a wall for dear life type of thing.
And it would fill the not having a wild card comp. For
Yeah.
the show.
That's true.
Yeah.
Andrew, I love the way you think. So who do you guys think would like win an endurance competition out of this cast?
What kind of endurance competition?
Yeah.
Let's
The
say
wall?
it's hanging on the wall.
Derek X.
Alyssa would have a great shot at it.
No, Derek X is too tall. No.
Alyssa.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but she'd get too cold. I think she'd jump. She'd freeze to death. She's got nothing on her.
Claire would have a good shot at it too, I think.
I feel like she's too tall and
short.
lanky.
You gotta be short. Short people.
Derek F.
Like Nicole F.
What's wrong
and
with
James did really good. Yeah.
You say that. Did JC win the wall comp?
Well, JC sucks, so it doesn't count.
JC.
Why
Who's
even?
JC? Why even? I think Derek X could do it.
I think Hannah could do it.
Yeah,
I think Hannah could do it.
Sarah Beth could do it.
I could do it. I could win the wall comp. I'm 4'11" and weigh 95 pounds. I could
see you winning that, Allison. Yeah. Totally agree.
I could do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Oh, Doris points out that Hannah is a gymnast as well, so that's a good thing.
But
yeah, well, Brittany has a black belt. Okay, Brittany has a black belt.
Derek F is winning the wall comp.
No, he's not.
If Derek,
I hope he does a Jessica scream on like when he falls off.
The reason F cannot win the wall comp is that means he'd have to be out of that room for longer than about 2 hours.
Derek F is going to be HOH, and he's not leaving the HOH room at all. And let me tell you something. When he wins the HOH wall comp, somebody's wearing the doo-doo hat. And I'm looking right at him. In the red shirt. Yes. Who else? I've sent you 2 shithead hats. You lost one.
Oh, I might have lost the other. No.
Oh, how do you lose something that big? I will never understand.
I'm willing to make that bet, so that's totally fine. Yeah, I think that's it. Do we have any other?
I do know the veto competition was the Ballerina because my nephew was confused when the feeds came back on and grown-ass men were in tutus. And he texted me, and these guys are, they look like ballerinas. I said, oh, it's the Ballerina competition. And he was like, oh, yeah, right. I forgot.
Now, we had crapshoot skill the week before, so I would think knockout.
Yeah, we had a good question. Sorry,
it might be the music one. You know how they like have to listen to like a music and like they have to decide like which one it is, like HOH veto or
it's too early for that. There haven't been enough comps.
They did that in season 17. It was the 5th comp.
I think they did it pretty early in Big Brother 22 because that was when like Davon and Bailey had to go against each other and they looked so good in those yellow dresses.
But I guess Andrew's right though. I guess it would be like the 5th comp. Probably want to be the 4th one.
Well, and we do have an additional comp this year with the wild card, so like there's more like in play for like a comp like that. But I think a knockout comp would be really good at this point in the game. Be really curious to see like like how obvious it would be that kings and queens are working together. What are you laughing at, Alice?
No, I'm just laughing at it. What Dolores says if Derek F wins HOH next, I will Twitter you for president. I will be a stone cold genius. Okay. I'm telling you. Don't sleep.
I don't have any other thoughts.
I would like if Derek F won the whole show. Winning the
I would not like that.
He wins the
I
first
would love
part
it.
and the last part HOH. And he wins the whole show by a 9-0 vote.
I think this is the only podcast that's saying that.
I think that we're sleeping on him, and I think something's going to happen. And I think I want a Derek F HOH or a Brittany HOH. I want to see I want to see people who aren't in ironclad alliances win this week and stir the pot. It's time to stir some shit up because they get in these alliances and it gets boring. I'm serious. Yep. It becomes very predictable.
It becomes PB16 really quickly, and we don't want that. We don't want pussies. We don't want pussies.
We don't want pussies.
Brother 16.
Listen, it's because I love Derek, and Tyler, you're treading on thin ice with me.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna wear the doo-doo hat.
You're gonna wear that doo-doo hat, and you're gonna smile the whole time.
Heather Rogers, there's no way in heck they would bring me. I wish they would, but we will never see Pressure Cooker come back in the way that we saw Pressure Cooker happen.
Yeah.
What was the pressure cooker?
It's when they were in the box.
In Big Brother 6,
remember
they had to like have their thumb on a button in the glass box. This is when like Kaser came back into the game and told Jennifer she would be safe, and then
That's right.
Jennifer ended up being evicted that night.
I
Beautiful
gotcha.
TV.
Is that
That's
when they
when
just
Janelle
put
was
their
like,
thumb?
"Give me that key, bitch! Give me that key."
Snatch that shit. Give that to me.
Yeah, I would love to see that, Heather, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The good old days of salty Big Brother. Yeah. Remember
Don't have that
they used to
anymore.
just let them have alcohol, and Janelle got in an argument with another guy in the house and was yelling he was
Oh.
a whore all night. It was so great. That's back when
You
I could
date
only watch it
older
on my
men.
laptop. Listen,
Yeah.
that was back before you had Amazon and Fire Stick and all you didn't have an iPad. You had your laptop. I walked around my house with a laptop, and I'm sitting on my bed watching Janelle yelling, "You're a whore," drinking wine like it's what, and it was just the greatest thing ever.
That's when the feeds were on
Back in
Real
the
Player.
time. It was
You
Real
remember that?
Player. And you only had like
This was
2
like
rooms
AOL.
to pick from. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only had 2 rooms. I gave my nephew like a history lesson the other night about Big Brother live feeds. I said, you know how lucky you are. I said, season 1 and 2. Season 1, you had 1 camera to follow. Season
So you
2,
gave
I
him
think
a
you had
lesson?
2.
You gave him a lesson
Yeah.
on live feeds. You're probably still going on BBOTT right now.
BBOTT, y'all need to stop sleeping on BBOTT. Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. I'm just saying the cameras and what
I'm
you
sorry,
got to
Kyland.
see.
I apologize for even mentioning it.
Is BBOTT the Derek F of Big Brother seasons?
It is. People
Yeah.
need to lay off Big Brother OTT because they're taking some shit from Big Brother OTT and they're putting it into Big Brother 23. Oh, I just made a rap.
Hey,
That's like a
I'll say
wrap.
the casting producer for BBOTT casted this season, so they've done something right.
My last question for Tyler, like I said, I was done. What can we expect from Brittany's eviction speech this week?
Oh my god. I think Allison needs to come prepared on Thursday with a rap. So she
I'm
can
going to work on it all week. I'm gonna work on it all week.
Yeah. Allison, that's your homework assignment from Andrew, Chris, and I. Is you need to have a Brittany style rap ready for our show on Thursday. I'm gonna hold you to that.
The worst person that you want to do anything musical. Like you
Even
don't.
better.
I mean, then I actually agree with Andrew. I wouldn't mind if Brittany was like, the Victoria, because then we get a new song like every week.
I mean, like her
And then
great.
she
We'll
ends
have a
up having
great
her own playlist. By that, she's gonna end up with her own like Spotify
be on-
playlist by the end of the season.
Greatest
you can
hits.
purchase it. You can purchase it every Friday morning for 99 cents on iTunes.
On iTunes.
She's got great reviews, and we'll have like a greatest hits by the time September rolls around. And I bet you she makes more than Christy on Cameo
And wins a Grammy.
and wins a Grammy.
That is true. Like those raps are really setting up for like premium Cameo content after the season's over.
I don't know. I love Brittany. I think she's great.
Yeah.
She's an interesting fold for the season. Like she's just such like a hot mess express where like everybody else is like strategy, game, like 24/7, right? Where like Brittany's just like emotions 24/7. Like you never know like what's gonna set her off. And that's a really interesting
Get her
wild-
started
like,
on
loose
pop.
cannon.
Get her started on pop culture because she's a big movie pop culture nerd like I am. And like she was having a conversation last week about movies and stuff. And like her knowledge blew me away. It like really met mine. And I was impressed. And I'm like, she and I would be like this in the house having these nerd conversations. It'd be amazing. I would love it. I'd live for it. I love people like that, so I'm good. I'm great. I love her. I want another rap. I live for it. Although the vibe was cringing, let's say, when she started. But bless her heart, she's doing the best she can. What are you gonna do? You're on the block. Make it fun. You're on Big Brother. Jesus, I'm not.
Is that everything for tonight?
That's it. Become a patron or
What the-
whatever. Well, don't we have a patron account? Who checks that?
I do.
Oh, okay. Who checks that account? Okay.
Like,
What
it
is
keeps
it?
freezing for me.
What
Are you
is
guys,
it,
like, done?
Tyler?
Thank you, Matt, for posting in the chat that it is. There we go.
There we go.
Yes.
I think Chris is breaking up.
But yeah, do that and subscribe on YouTube and get notifications and stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it. About wraps it up for Sunday night show. Thank you, Chris, so much for coming. I want to have you
I think
back
we have
on.
James Maslow. I think we have James Maslow coming on next episode, right?
We do? Oh.
What? Who's James Maslow?
He drops that bomb and then leaves. James Maslow was on Celebrity Big Brother too.
What just happened?
I'm so
Chris
confused.
is like
Christopher Wallace. What did you just do?
he's like not even in the. Oh wait, he's
Where is
connecting
he?
again.
Where is he?
Okay.
What is
I don't know what happened.
Hey, Chris,
Chris,
I
you
heard
just said
Julie
like
Chen
James
was entering the house
Maslow is
next
coming,
week.
and then you left. Yeah.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
Wait, but where did you hear
Andrew's
that
got-
from? Chris?
I said James Maslow was coming, and then like it froze, like, and you were like everyone was like spinning like that,
Yeah.
and then I just got out for some reason.
The
He's from
quality,
Big Time Rush.
the professional
take pictures.
quality is so amazing on this show that every time we have a guest, they're like, I can't wait to come back on.
What the fuck is going on?
Did y'all hear what I said before I left?
What did you say?
I said, hey, Chris, I heard Julie Chen's entering the game next week, and I left the call.
You just left.
I didn't leave. I got kicked out.
I don't know what's going on. It's late. It's time to go.
Become a patron.
Become a
Gotta become a
patron.
patron.
It's in the chat somewhere.
Okay, we're gonna sign off. All right, join us on Thursday, where we break down the eviction episode. Yada yada. You know where to find us. We'll be here after the live show on Thursday. But everybody have a great rest of your night.
Chris, do you have do you have your own podcast show?
I do, but I've been so busy with work, so I haven't been able to like do it as much. But good things are coming soon. That's all I have to say.
Well, do you want to let everyone know where they can find you?
Yeah, they can go on Instagram, adventurous_filmmaker, and then I think Twitter's the same thing, and that's it.
Okay, cool.
I think Twitter's Dead Rapper Big. I don't remember, but yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Allison, you were crazy.
I don't know what.
I don't know. All right.
Allison, don't you have some Boss Baby to watch?
I gotta go watch Boss Baby Family Business. Why you gotta out me on that movie, okay? Why you gotta let everyone know I'm a thing for Boss Baby?
There's nothing wrong with Lil Baldwin.
I love Alec Baldwin.
All right. Well, everybody have a great rest of your night. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.